a concise approach to top-down market strategies and the forces affecting investments. That's the spoken word on investing.
Let's revisit the Trump trade now in this spoken word on investing. Our chief equity strategist, John Blank, is actually going to take us there because you're right here now, and so we figured, why not, right?
Right.
So you've got this regional bank story that you've been talking about, a lot of people have been talking about for a while now. That's still a viable part of the Trump trade, huh?
Well, it's a good example of the Trump trade because it's clean. I mean, you have a clean idea that a regulatory relief in the form of a DoddFrank reform, which is piles of regulations that particularly mortgage banks have to apply. If that could be hived down to a smaller number, made an easier process, that's a cost benefit for banks, and it's clean. So that's a clean Trump idea, right? We're going to reform Dodd-Frank, and it follows through, and it has flown through into these regional bank indexes. They're all running up and fully valued because the idea is I can justify being at the top of the range on the value because I see all these things happening.
So are there any other identifiable drivers?
The other one is interest rates. You've got an interest rate hiking scenario. That interest rate margin is just all it is which is exactly what it is. The bank can make more money on their loans and on the types of investments they put in the fixed income space, which is a bigger deal for them. So they all get highly ranked. What I want to point out to people, when you have a situation like this where all the ranks go up because all the earnings go up, but the story is so well known, there's no value for you as an investor in that rank.
Does it seem odd to you? Because it seems odd to me. So correct me where I was. Tell me what I'm missing here. Regional banks, still a good story in the face of the rally in the financials that has kind of fallen apart.
Yeah, well, what I like here, Terry, I'm going to throw these names out. Comerica, Northern Trust, and PNC. Okay. So let me go through those again. Comerica, Northern Trust, and PNC. So those three are very big, established institutions. PNC is in Pittsburgh. Comerica is basically in Dallas and Michigan. And Northern Trust, as we know, in Chicago is a dominant player.
Right.
So in their regions, they really control those spaces. They're the dominant, strong, multi-decade franchise. If you're going to get in this space, you want the quality names and the quality players. That's the idea here is there is no value to you as an investor unless you play the real blue chip name.
That makes more sense. So let's look at them a little bit more specifically. Comerica, CMA, the ticker, strong buy.
Strong buy. I like Comerica. You have to like anything in the Texas, and they have a position in Texas. It does go not much further than that.
Northern Trust here in Chicago where we sit.
Northern Trust has a trust business, right? So they are actually have a lot of investments, and they handle more of that as a trust bank. So that is actually one of the reasons they're probably a better pick here because they have more exposure to a better rate environment than other banks.
And it seems with PNC, you're hearing about it more and more now than you have in the past.
Yeah, well, it's a good stock. It's run up a lot, and it's a good franchise in a kind of an overlooked area, but area with a big population base. And they have a really good footprint away from the New York banks out there, and it's a stock I've owned personally at times.
Okay.
Yeah.
The others, do you own?
No, I've not owned any of them now, but I have owned PNC at times.
All right. Well, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Always an interesting conversation with our chief equity strategist, John Blank, and with John, I'm Terry Ruffalo.